Hey guys, how's it going? It's Thea. Welcome back, Garden Goddess Tarot and the Epic 2025 collection and Declutter series. And we are on to, I think, video number 5 today. How exciting. Super nice, very incredible. We're going at a good pace. I'm happy. So far we've decluttered like 40, what was it? 40 something? Early 40s number of decks, so we're doing great. The goalpost has been moved to somewhere in the ballpark of 70. If I can get rid of that many throughout the course of this thing, that would be great. And today, we are doing my tuck box decks. Gotten to the point where we're kind of breaking the system down into little categories, and I'm still going to be kind of holding them up against one another. Some of the ones I like the best versus some of the ones that I enjoy the least, and we're gonna compare, contrast, declutter, as well as just kind of show you what I got. So that's the plan. I also want to kind of keep the momentum going, get this like firing through fairly quickly because there's quite a few, and it's a category that a type of deck that I really quite love. Anyway, this guy here, this is a little sneak peek for potentially future video, and this is one of Chanel's new Oracle decks, and needless to say, I absolutely love it, and we will talk about that some other time. So stay tuned for that. That's not what we're talking about today. Today we're talking about low Scarabeo decks. And I guess it's low Scarabeo and some US Games tuck box decks. And I also want to say too, there's going to be a large portion of them that will be included in the esoteric decks category, the Marseille decks category, and the Rider-Waite-Smith deck category. So those ones aren't in this video because they're being saved for that one. And we already talked about the Edmund Duloc, the Arthur Rackham Tarot, and the Dark Fairy Tale Tarot, and then a couple of the other larger tuck box ones from low Scarabeo. So just to broaden the scope of indeed what it is we were working with. But I think ultimately I love the sign. This is my preferred size of tarot, style of tarot, cardstock of tarot. I love these. We've decided. We'll get in close because they are on the smaller side of these decks. This is the Fantastic Creatures Tarot. This is a US Games deck by Lisa Hunt and DJ Conway. US Games. And this is a low Scarabeo one, Tarot of Tales and Legends. This is a compiled art deck, which is kind of what a lot of them tend to be. Comes with a little white book. You guys have seen them, you know. I show them all the time. And then these are the older US Games decks that are on better cardstock. I say older, maybe it's just published differently. When was this published? 2007. Yeah. I think this one is one I've attempted to get rid of before, but for some reason it's also still here. And then the Tarot of Tales and Legends here. So both have kind of a fantasy feel about them. This one specifically is really a storytelling deck. Each card is a reference to a specific fantastical creature within myth or legend. Some more obvious than others. And then the Tarot of Tales and Legends is a compiled art deck from the art of Henry J. Ford. He also illustrated for fairy tales and fantasy stories. So there are similarities between these, but one I obviously love and use the crap out of, and it's great. And it has kind of a matching oracle pair that I like it with. And this one is something about, like with this one, it's vague. The guidebook doesn't say what legend it's referencing, and it's the weight of the tarot message doesn't necessarily come from the art's origin for me. It's more about actually, like, for me, it's an illustration of the expression of that tarot card instead of, I don't feel the need to look into, I guess, what legend or myth or tale it's referencing. I just know that that is the Five of Swords, and the Five of Swords is being expressed through this image, and thus I read it that way. Simple, easy, great. One of the reasons I love these decks so much. Whereas this one, I'm really like, okay, I need to, like, it's more specific. I need to know exactly what's going on in this particular card, and it just kind of makes actively reading with it a little bit more difficult. And sometimes I'm lazy. A lot of times I'm lazy. The backs are good, though. But anyway, I just don't reach for it. Lisa Hunt's art is totally incredibly beautiful. It's just one that I think really doesn't fit, doesn't necessarily need to be here. So I think it's gonna go. But it is cool and quite beautiful. And if you're the kind of person who likes to have, like, this would be a good one if I were wanting to, like, switch up my weekly tarot card pull, like, use it almost more like an oracle where you just pull one and then you really kind of get absorbed in what's going on in the card and image. Because, like, right now I don't know who that is, what it's referring to. Some of them I know off the bat, but let's see. Queen of Pentacles, Yeah, that's Danu. So yeah, Celtic Myth. I'm not super familiar with that one, so I would need to. I basically just need to get to know the deck better, which I don't feel like I'm going to specifically. Some of them more aware of than others. There's a little cat on the Magician. Winged cat, a creature found in many cultures. The winged cat has both positive and negative meanings. Okay, so pretty, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. This one just feels far away to me. I'm not super connected. Yeah, this one, yeah, the Minotaur there. Like some of them I know, others I don't. And it sits more in a learning tool space, and that's not something I usually actively reach for when I'm going to a tarot deck. So anyway, long story short, something like this works way better for me. This one does not. Even though it's beautiful, it has most of the boxes of things that I like checked. It just didn't hit for me, which is fine. I know what I like, and it's just not it. So this one's going to stay. Tarot of Tales and Legends. And the Fantastical Creatures Tarot is going to go. Yeah. It hurts me because it is so beautiful. But I know I don't use it, and it's not structured in a way that makes it very easy for me to use. So she's not it, but that's okay. Okay, our next pairing of Compare and Contrast is going to be the iconic, the ever impressive Tarot Illuminati. This deck makes me so happy. It's so ridiculous. And this is such a good reader. And it has kind of a certain vibe about it that fits into a certain tarot space that I adore. It's ridiculous and I love it. Digital collage. It's kind of a hodgepodge of occasional spiritual and cultural references, but it's great. We'll talk about it a little bit more when I show you what I'm pairing this up against, but I'm kind of interested. Like, there's a big book that comes in a different edition of this deck that I would love to get to know, because I think if it's written by Kim Hudgens as well, the way she writes about tarot is really, I like it, I think. So I'd be very interested in the big book of this, just to kind of get the whole experience. Like I'm getting this like itchy feeling that I kind of want to go back and not relearn, but just like approach tarot again, just from a different but more simplistic perspective as well. Just to like soak up some more corners of information I perhaps have not yet. But this is a really great, intuitive, easy reader RWS style deck that is classic and amazing, and it's fun and it's ridiculous, and it's not everybody's cup of tea, but I freaking love it. So this one, our lovely Tarot Illuminati over here, is going to be compared with its sibling, the Tarot Apocalypsis. This is the big edition of Tarot Apocalypsis. It also comes in a little Scarabeo tuck box size, such as this, but it doesn't have the big book. This might end up being kind of an annoying situation for myself, but we will see how it plays out. But Sarah, if you're there in the comments, do you remember when we opened this together? She was over at my house and we opened it, and literally like the box and the book fell apart as I was opening it. Like this immediately came off. And then we pulled the cards out like so, which were fine, all well and good. And then I cracked open, there's a little hardcover book in this set. Little, I mean, it's quite big. It's actually very big. But I cracked it open. Have I since glued it back together? Anyway, the whole inside binding, yeah, I did. The whole inside binding was cracked, and the insides just fell out. I think I've since glued it back in, but it came apart into two pieces of book. But anyway, which was hilarious. It was just like, oh, okay, that's what the manufacturing on this wasn't ideal, shall we say. But what I'm in it for, as you guys know, is the content. So this particular deck, it is Lo Scarabeo published, I do believe. I think so. Pretty sure. Yes, it is. But it's just like a different format, and it's on like the thicker cardstock that we would now associate with like the bigger like slidey top boxes, if that makes any sense. So, but there is another edition of this that comes in a small box like this on the thinner, nice, flexible, small cardstock, because they are, I don't know if you can tell, they are a slightly different size. So, and I lean towards liking this size better. Anyway, but as we said, I really like how Kim Hudgens here writes in the book. And I think having the book of this one would be useful. But I also don't necessarily love like the size and cardstock of this. So I'm considering getting the smaller edition of this, keeping the book, getting rid of this deck, and then getting the book for this one. And if it comes with a big deck like this, also getting rid of it, which is kind of annoying, which means I have to buy both of these again. But anyway, it's just something I'm considering. It's a nitpicky pet peeve that only weird tarot people kind of get, but such is life. But anyway, this one, because it's in the big box, I don't like reach for it super often. And I'm more likely to grab for this one because it's right there. And this one's a little bit more universal. This one has a little bit more of that myth and culture kind of woven into it. There is quite a bit of mythology of varying different cultures in it. But I love that the Fool's a whirling dervish, though. That's really good. And then we've got Clytemnestra here on the Five of Cups. There's also a really ridiculous Seven of Cups. The cups are all Greek mythology in this one. Others don't hit immediately, but it's kind of a fun one to have around. Like, it's not one I would want to have as my only tarot deck ever, but to play with occasionally, to use for, fun little readings, it's great. So, and they both kind of sit within the same mental space for me, which again kind of makes me think that maybe I should just keep one of them, because if I'm more likely to reach for this one all the time, then it's going to be the one I use. But at the same time, I really enjoy digging into this book because it's meaty and delicious, and it has a lot of really good insights about the tarot written in a way that just, I don't know, appeals to me. There's a mythological framework. There's, on the majors, I believe, you get a lot more about the more esoteric aspects of tarot. So it's kind of like a fun mythological deck, but it also doesn't let go of the esotericism of the tarot, which, some decks do, some decks don't, and each to their own. But I think that's a plus for this one. I don't know, it's so fun. I like it. And I think it would just be great to spend like a week or two just with this one, exploring the book and that sort of thing, which I, again, still need to do, but because it's like shoved away in this box, I don't as often. So anyway, that's something that I would consider doing. I think like I like this deck more because of like the book than just on its own even. But anyway, it's a fun one. So all that being said, I like both of these, but I think I'm going to actually put this deck by itself in the to-go pile, consider getting another one, and then keep this one. And I know that seems that's so indulgent of me. It's incredibly indulgent of me. But, it's your tarot collection. You do what you need to do, right? And that might be the one. And this is an extra card in it, the All Gifted. And I think that's Pandora. Gorgeous. There's some Norse in here. There's Egyptian. There's some more Asian mythologies as well. It's great. I like it. It's of a time. And yeah, and Kim Hudgens' book is really good. So I'm like very curious about the book on this one. Anyway, that being said, that's just how I feel right now. But Tarot Illuminati is definitely staying. I've talked at length about how it just reminds me of a certain time on TarotTube, like specifically like the reader side of TarotTube, and like for a while, maybe it was just who I saw, like what the algorithm was feeding me at the time, but a lot of like seasoned tarot readers would use really beat up copies of this one, and it just, I don't know, I loved it. It suited me. Let's do another pair of decks that's kind of within the same family. Let's look at these two next to each other. This is the Deviant Moon Tarot, and this is the Trionfi della Luna. Both of these are Patrick Valenza decks. I believe I got this one first, and this is another one that kind of showed up early in my tarot journey. Maybe not right at the beginning, but a little within that first phase, my first tarot era. And then this one came out a bit later. This is the illustrated Pips edition, though, which is important to note. Which is also probably why it won't be in the Marseille category that we do down the road. These two, let's get them out and have a look at them together. Because this is another situation where I think I have a distinct favorite between the two. The Trionfi della Luna Paradoxical Edition has extra devils, which is awesome. And I think I've put two in here already also, because they're so fun. And I think there's a couple extra towers. Yeah, there's a lightning, Tower of God and the Tower. So there's 3 Tower cards in it. And then, yeah, there's House of God. And then there's 2 Judgments as well. In varying styles, mirroring other styles of Marseille. So, let's look at them together. Oh, they look nice together. I think I have a little bit more of a connection to the Deviant Moon than the Trionfo della Luna. There's like there's a noise that it makes in my head when I pull it out. It's very musical to me, just based on how I connected with the deck initially. I spent a great deal of time going through it with a particular, basically, it's not even a soundtrack. It's just like, it was ambient music, but as I was reading the guidebook and like kind of absorbing the imagery of each of the cards, the song kind of imprinted itself in my brain, so that every time I use this deck, I can hear the music. Does that happen to anybody else? Does anybody else do that? It's very interesting. Be curious to know. But I've like imprinted the vibe of that ambient music on the deck, so the deck now emits that ambient music when I use it. It's really interesting. This one, not so much. I have not connected with it in such a way. And I think it's fun, it's whimsical, it's quirky, but I prefer the majors. And the illustrated pips, I think these are all majors this one. That's a really good death card as well. Super cute. Adorable. This one, maybe I would like the non-paradoxical edition of it, where it was more just like flat neutral colors. But the illustrated pips, I think they're just, I feel like I'd like the Marseille one more. And it's funny, when this came out, this is probably like the most hyped up deck I've ever bought. It was one of those ones that the paradoxical edition was not available for so long of the original Marseille, that when it came out with the illustrated pips version of it, it was like everywhere you looked on Tarot 2, everybody was talking about it at the time. But yeah, like that, for some reason I don't like that card. And I don't know why. Maybe it's the colors. I don't know. Something about it just doesn't sit right with me. And not that it doesn't sit right, I just don't love it. Whereas like I think everyone in the Deviant Moon I enjoy in its own way. So I think it might be time for me to just move on the Trionfo della Luna paradoxical edition, just because I'm always and forever more likely to pick up the Deviant Moon. And then if down the road I'm feeling like I would like another Patrick Valencia deck, then I might consider getting a like actual like pip version of the Trionfo della Luna. And it's funny because I do love this particular shade of blue, but for some reason on this deck I don't like it as the backs. If these were black, so much better. I don't know why. It's funny, I love blue usually, but I just feel like it doesn't match the vibe of the deck. So, anyway, and I don't like that 3 of Cups. Yeah, there's just like a handful of cards in this that I don't like, but there's also some that I really do. Yeah, I do like that. That's a Marseille Ace. It's good. I like most of the majors. I think it's just the illustrated pips just were a miss for me. And then the court cards are all the same. Yeah, the Judgment card I love. That's the second Judgment one, and I think it's from, oh, what was it? The Vachetta? The Vachetta deck, or the there's Tarot of the Master as well. They do the Judgment card like that, and it's so sick. I love it. But like, I don't know, that doesn't feel like it belongs in the same deck in my brain. You know? I don't know, it's just weird and different. So I think just the regular Marseille version of this would be more my speed. Like no, I don't like that. Strength is fine. Like all of the ones that would, and I mean, it's okay, but I don't know. I'm maybe because they were illustrated at a later date, it feels disjointed. It feels not cohesive in my opinion. The star is cute. Again, one of the majors that would have been around before. The aces are great. Fool's cool. Hangman, yeah. So anyway, I wonder, does anyone know if the Marseille version of the paradoxical Trionfo della Luna is still available? Because I might consider it. But at the same time, like, I've got Deviant Moon, and it's great, and it's fine. So I might just continue using this one, because this is kind of the Patrick Valencia deck that I will grab, and is more than enough for me. Quirky little guy. It's all right. It's not one of my favorites ever. I like it a lot, but it's not like, I don't know. I feel like it has the ability to be overhyped, I think. Like, it's good. Anyway, I have thoughts and feelings, but for me, I've connected with it in my own unique way, and it'll stay because of that. But this one here is going to go, where did those extra cards go? Oh, no, they're there. Okay, good. Yes, I haven't edged them. But yeah, so I've also edged this in black, so if I do sell it, do know that is. But anyway, yeah, so this one is going to go, this one is going to stay. It's funny, I'm going through all of the ones that are leaving, and they're all US Games decks. How funny. The majority of the ones that are staying, which we'll hit later, are all low Scarabeo. But I think for now it's funny that the ones that I'm like immediately looking and comparing are the US Games ones, which is funny to me. I think it's funny. Maybe you just mesh with a certain publisher more than others. Like, it's like with me, I know, like, usually if a low Scarabeo publishes a deck, there's a good chance that it's going to be something I'm interested in. And there's just something about their vibe that fits with how I like my tarot decks. So it's just a funny observance, something fun to know. This is the Spiral Tarot by US Games. I think I've talked about decluttering this once before, but I just never left again. I'm going to look at it against the Bianco Nero Tarot. Now, this one could be considered a clone, but I think it's unique and different enough that we'll put it here with the Tuck Box decks. This really is no comparison either. Because one of these I like quite a bit and the other one is really like I'll never reach for it. The Spiral Tarot, it's by Kay Steventon. She's also done the Celestial Tarot, so I got rid of that one a while ago. But Spiral Tarot is still around. And this one is just black and white, kind of pen and ink illustrated RWS adjacent tarot. Very practical, very good for quick readings. I love the moodiness. There's a lot of dynamic action in it, and it's got hot people in it, which we love. But yeah, so we'll just have a quick look at these together. And also the borders on this are a little bit heinous. And because they're US Games deck, they both have copyrights on the front, which is a little bit irritating. But it is what it is. But yeah, I love this one deeply. And this one, it just doesn't hit as much for me. I don't know. And we've got Hebrew letters. We've got some Tree of Life action. I think most of the majors have one on it, I say. Okay, so there's a wheel. Yeah, they do. And I think there is like a subtle nod to where on the Tree of Life that card sits. So the sun, I believe, is kind of right in here. And then these two Sephira are lit up. It's kind of cool. It's a neat aspect. There's a elemental symbol for fire. There's the sun glyph. And then there's the Hebrew letter. Resh, I believe, is the sun one. Yeah, an Empress here. Yeah, there she is there. Yes, it is. Between those two. Venus symbol, Earth symbol. So yeah, I don't pick it up very often. But it's nice that it has those like very Golden Dawn associations, very esoteric symbols all over it where it's supposed to be a Celtic deck. I don't know, it's just very interesting to me. And there's some other symbols kind of hidden in it. They're figures kind of dressed in modern-ish, like 19th or 20th century kind of. But then there's like the odd one that's kind of ancient. We've got like the Moirai here on the Wheel of Fortune, right, and then the Zodiac wheel around them. It's really interesting. Very strange. Kind of all over the place. And in theory, especially the majors, I do enjoy, but the minors less so. And the borders I don't pick it up. I don't love the backs. Like there's aspects of it that I don't, for one reason or other, it doesn't have the juice. Well, it has the juice. It's not my favorite flavor of juice, maybe. And I don't want to trim it because it wouldn't go well. And I mean, it's got a beautiful High Priestess card, but like, would you say this would be from the same deck? I don't know. It's just really interesting and weird. Look at him. I don't know. Ooh, it should go. It has to go. I never use it. I have other decks. I have other esoteric decks that definitely I want to pick up more. Yeah, I just like the Bianco Nero a bit more. That's simple as that. And if this were my only deck, I could make it work, but it's not. And I'm well aware that I'm in a position where I can make those choices. So Spiral Tarot is gonna move along, and the Bianco Nero by Marco Prieto is going to stay because I love it. And it's a vibe and a mood and does it for me. Okay, let's do some sexy decks. I I love a sexy deck. I do. I do. Actually, let's whip out the Oracle while we're here too. Because why not? I don't have the Monera Oracle, which there is one that goes with it. But yeah, we've got the Oracle cards, the tarot of this one. I don't know how much of these I'm going to show because obviously they're trouble. And they're the minis too. I don't have the full sizes of them. I just have the little guys. Here's the backs on these ones. So yeah, the art by Milo Manara. And then who has the art on this one? Does it even say? Mauro De Luca? And Laura Tuan did the words. Did the words. Yeah, and there's the backs on those. Iconic little backs. Oh, I like them. And these cute little Los Scarabeo boxes. Oh, adorable. But I think I ultimately use the this one, the Sex Magic one, more. It's a very practical deck for me, actually. I use it, and it's comparing Oracle quite a lot for things. I was considering putting these in the Witchy decks category, but it was already quite inflated, and I figured we may as well put them in here. Whereas the Monero one, let's see if I'll show you some of the cards. I guess you can. It's this kind of art style. We've got an astrological glyph on the bottom and a number, and then the color is associated with suit and or major. Yeah, 3 of Swords, and then we have the astrological Saturn in Libra, air, 3 of Swords there. So it's quite intuitive in its own lovely way. Oh yeah, no, there's another one that you can see. It's a bit much, and when it comes to actually like reading it with it in practice, it's not as functional for me in what I like to use these type of decks for, whereas this one is a little more easy for me to kind of plunk myself in, and each of these cards has something kind of unique about it. So in this little book, the little book, so if you look, there's only like a little one line for each of them. But yeah, in each of these cards, there's a little reference to like the active magic that's kind of going on in them. So here, number 7 over here of Swords, it says tasting the magic of the 7 red tulips. And then we've got 7 red tulips here. And then like some of them, it's like the 7 knots, or the magic of the purple flowers, or the magic of the bundle of thistle, or the magic of the scarab. So like there's, in the image, it draws you to the focus of the intention of the... I think this is a really interesting and good deck, which the guidebook is one that's been a little bit vague, intentionally, I think. Anyway, long story short, I don't need to explain it. I use this deck for stuff mixed with its Oracle, which has an astrological association to it as well, which is great for amplification of certain other things. It's good for testing stuff. The Oracle's a bit more tame. You'll probably see more of it. I like the art style. There are problems with it, I understand. But I can like it for what it is, while also welcoming in other aspects to kind of flesh out my collection and experience. But yeah, I like them together. They work for what I need them to. They're a tool. They're not just like an art piece. They're not just something that's like there for fun that I flip through. They're something I use. And there's also reversals in this too. It's been very useful. I've liked it. And it works. So those are going to stay. But the Monera Tarot over here is one I just don't reach for. It doesn't quite do what I want it to do as a deck that's like this. And even though I would say the Monera Tarot is a little bit more graphic than this one, in my professional opinion. It's a bit more intense. Makes me a little bit more uncomfortable sometimes. But anyway, I think it can go. I don't necessarily need it around. It's not it. This is it. This isn't it. Long story short. So yeah, we can let that one go. There's a tuck box inside this little bag, as well as some other things. So we have this little guy, the borderless miniature edition of the 8 Coins Tattoo Tarot. Looks a bit rough because this is my Camino deck, and I carried it 300 kilometers across Spain in my pocket with a rock and a rosary, so that was fun. Lives in this bag. And we're going to put it up against its bigger brother, the same deck, the full size. Alrighty. This is the second smallest deck I own. it is so tiny. And I picked it specifically for its size. Oh yeah, look, she's beat up a little bit. It's so funny. Oh, and here we go. And then here's the regular size. Look at this. I think you can literally fit 3 of the cards and then some on the back of the full-size one. That's so crazy. Eee. But the full-size one is huge. These are by US Games. And the artist is 8 Ellen James Scholl is the name of the artist and creator. There we go. I thought that I definitely wanted the full-size version of this after I'd had this one because I was enjoying using it so much. This little guy makes such beautiful, huge spreads. And I don't know, the colors sing so well. It just looks so good on top of itself. It's such a easy reader too because it is so close to the Rider-Waite-Smith that it's a treat and a joy, and I really like using it. But the big one, it just feels like a completely different deck in my hands, which is hilarious. And I know it's because of the borders. There's the there's a label for what illustration it was that the creator did. Like, they created them not in order, and it kind of tells you the order that they made them in. You could put them in that order if you wanted. There's also a US Games, like a huge US Games copyright on the side. And I could just trim this down, and that might make it better for me because it doesn't hit the same when I pull a spread with this one, when I know how much I like the little one. And I really don't need both. I thought I wanted both, but I was wildly wrong. The funny thing is, I completely lost the box, though. It's funny because I haven't even had this long. Because I bought this right before I went on my pilgrimage, and then when I got back, I was like, oh, I'll just get the big one too. And then that was not a smart move. And the book's all right, but it's nothing. It doesn't light me up quite like, for example, the Kim Hudgens one. I was excited about that book. It also comes with a huge like paper spread mat, which could be useful. But yeah, like the big box it was in, I hid it somewhere and I don't know where I left it. So I'll have to try and find it because yeah, I think I want to let this one go just because, I don't know, for some reason the art doesn't feel the same bigger. I don't like it as much when it's big, but when it's little like this, I'm like, yes, that is another adorable moon card. I don't know, like even the same card just feels so much better when it's little, you know? I like the little one. I guess lesson learned. I love a little pocket deck. Yeah. So anyway, that one's easy. I don't need both copies, and I'm gonna get rid of the big one, and we're gonna keep the little one around. And obviously, I'm gonna keep the little one because if and when I do go back to Spain to complete some more miles of that pilgrimage, I will want to take it with me if the box survives. But it can live in the bag too. But anyway, yeah, it's obviously been a little companion for that trip, and it will be my Camino deck, so in it goes. So that's gonna stay, and then the big one is gonna be moved on, and it's basically in brand new condition. I think I might have shuffled it a couple times, used it once, and was just like, oh no. And I don't, like, I could trim it, but I don't need to because I know the little one does the job, so I'll let that one go intact. And we won't have to worry too much about butchering it in the process. So yeah, so let's just start chipping away. We've got the John Bauer Tarot and the Tarot of the Cat People. This one is a US Games deck. This one is a low Scarabeo, but they're the good old US Games decks. And I do like this one quite a bit, and but I'm considering letting it go because I don't use it that often because it's a very, I don't know. I might keep it. I don't know. We'll see. I have mixed feelings. Let's look at it here just against John Bauer just for fun. John Bauer with the weird backs. This would go in the ugly deck backs video. I don't know why I don't like them so much. I think it's just the shade of green with the red. If that was like a cream color instead of like a shade of green, I might like it better, but it's like, ugh, it's weird. I have like a physical reaction to the shade on the back of that. All right. So, Tarot of the Cat People is great. I do like it. We have that copyright problem again. The bags are so cute. There's a whole lore with this, and I have the book too, which I found secondhand. There's a whole world. It's a whole planet that these cat people live on. They get their power from working with these cats. All of the court cards have a big version, like the knights are riding their cat. And it's a really well fleshed out, well thought out world of a deck. This is a compiled art deck of the art of John Bower. Again, art was used a lot in fairy tales and tales and stories of that nature. Very much a la Edmund Duloc, the Henry Ford, and the or Henry J. Ford, not the one who made the cars, but and Rackham. Like, they all, this is one of those decks, lives in that family. Whereas this was all created initially for this specific tarot. But they both have a very different fantasy element to them. I keep this one because I don't usually use like spacey, alien-y, like otherworldly decks in this way. Very often, I'm not super drawn to them as a rule. But I like it because the cat people in this, they remind me deeply of Cat from Red Dwarf, which is a show, like a BBC television show that, like, I think first aired in like early 90s, late 80s. It's not new, but I love it so much. And I rewatched it. It's my Christmas show. I don't know why. It has nothing to do with Christmas, but once December hits, I like rewatch a good portion of it, especially while I'm like wrapping presents for people. And this deck, there's a character in that. Oh, this is going to be tangenty. There's a character in that show called Cat, and he's a cat that evolved over millions of years. Or he's a person that evolved from a cat, as opposed to us who came from primates. There's like a humanoid evolution that stems from cats, and he's in that, and he reminds me of this, and this is kind of like my cat deck. This kind of, so it's like I've tied it to that for me, but at the same time, like, I really don't super use it in conjunction with that. It's just something that like is a connection I've made in my brain, and it makes me happy, but at the same time, it's not like I don't pull for the deck all that often. So I don't know. It might stay as just like a collection piece, but in the same breath, like, I really don't use it that often. But yeah. John Bower's nice though. It's fun. A really great cozy read. This one strays the furthest from the Rider-Waite-Smith tarot meanings in the imagery compared to like all of the other art compilation decks. But that's okay. I like it for what it is. It's very, I don't know, soft and mysterious. There's very occasionally I sit in the space of this energy, and it's nice. Whereas this feels very much outside of myself. And there's, again, this suffers from not a lot of depth in the images. It's a very character. It kind of has that Londa Tarot feel about it, where it's just like a character doing something very close up to the front of the frame, and then there's a cat. Anyway, yeah, I think it'll go into limbo though for a while, I think. It's one that I don't necessarily think I'll miss either, which is a shame, but such a fun devil card. I think I just like the devil in most decks, unless it's done something to offend me. Anyway, yeah, so those are those two. I'm gonna keep the John Bower, but the Tarot of the Cat People is gonna chill for a while. Sorry, it's by Karen Kukendall as well. Remember to say the artist and publisher of all of these decks. It's exhausting. It's interesting. It's so weird just like going through them and describing them is so much more work than just actually using them. It's so funny. Anyway, yeah, so I'm just gonna chill in limbo for a little while. We'll see. We'll see but I think it's gonna go. Probably. It's just I had that problem of looking at it again and being like, oh, but it's fun. But also, let's look at these two together. This is an old AGM deck. The Cosmic Tarot, classic as well. This is an old AGM deck. This is the Tarot Racine d'Essai, Roots of Asia Tarot. I think this one's definitely out of print. This one I'm not sure of whether it is or not. Haven't checked in a while. And both of these are good decks, but one I use more than the other. One's a bit more universal for me, I guess, than the other. Interesting, like, kind of similarities in the backs. That's funny. Let's just flip and see how it goes. So this one, there's figures. This one's very, like, it's a little painterly. It's a little bit kind of not cosmic, but like very airy and spiritual, and ephemeris, I guess one could say. It's a really beautiful deck. And I've got an Oracle deck that it kind of pairs with as its like best friend. So it's kind of a bonded pair to that one. Yeah, whereas this one, I don't reach for that often. And it has kind of portrait style court cards. It's also got an extended guidebook, which I have too. I bought separately. But yeah, there's like nods to old Hollywood, which is fun. And I think like a lot of it was what made it charming in the beginning. Like that is Clark Gable just with a weird hat and a funny beard. You know. King of Cups, we've got the a crab for Cancer. Which is not, he's Scorpio for me in my professional tarot opinion, but that's okay. Maybe that was another reason I was like, I don't know. This one's a really intuitive deck. There's a lot going on in it though. And oh, sorry, the minors are also it's very choreography, dance. Like there's a lot of movement and physical. I don't know. You can just it's a very active deck, I guess you could say, in the minors. Can we have a minor that's not a court card, please? Oh my gosh, they're all right here, and another major. That's not a good example. Maybe some of them. Anyway, it's very postural. Maybe is the better way to say it. It's good. It's fine. It's fun. I don't reach for it all that often. But it is an older one. Or maybe it did, because it's got princes in it. I wonder if the astrological associations does that thing it does with Thothi, where like in my brain a prince in a Thoth deck is more like the king and the knights are knights. Maybe that's why. Because the Knight of Cups is Cancer. That's what it is. But instead of calling the knights, they're kings. Yeah, that's what it is. And that's a me problem. That's totally fine. Oh, look, both Ace of Cups is. Isn't that gorgeous? I don't know, this one just feels good to me. Am I gonna regret getting rid of this one? I don't know. I don't think so. They look like they're the same card. This is the 7 of Pentacles, though. And that's the Ace of Wands. But, like, you can see them there. And then that one. That's cool. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I love... This deck is just... It lets my mind kind of float around and think fun things. I don't know. Guys, this is hard. Anyway, I'm definitely keeping Roots of Asia. It's just a fun, easy one to read. Especially with the pairs I have for it. And this one is just going to go limbo for a bit. I've made my decision. That is a good moving card. I have too many decks, guys. I think I'm comfortable with that. Cosmic Tarot is just going to chill for a little while. And then the Roots of Asia is going to stay. And that concludes the ones that I was like initially considering letting go of. So we'll just whip our way through some of the other within this category. And then we will reconvene at the end and talk about the ones I'm decluttering. First on the list, Circe Tarot. This one's so fun. I've got a full walkthrough, like a far too detailed walkthrough of this deck, kind of talking about who's on each card in it on my channel if you wanted to check it out. It's fun. I love the art style. I love the colors. The backs are fantastic. Greek mythology. It was when I was little, when it was called the Circe Tarot, I thought it was specifically going to be more like Circe's myth specifically and adjacent, but it's kind of an Odyssey and Iliad deck. All of the court cards are actually like humans, which is nice. The majors tend to be deities, and then the minor arcana are kind of things that happen throughout the myths as well. So it's fun. It's really well done, well thought out, gorgeously illustrated deck, and I'm happy to have it. So it's a lovely one. It's just fun. And this is one that I would like to spend some more time with once we make some space. Love him. Pretty sure Dionysus is the Fool too, which makes me happy. Because he should be there. Yeah, there he is. Look at him. Yeah. It's just, this is a clever and smart deck, and I think it's cleverer and smarter than it even looks. But like, that is a gorgeous card. Which is interesting, because I don't think that is actually Circe. Which is funny, because you think it would be, because she's with a lion, called the Circe Tarot, she's on the front. I think it's, who is it? I must look. Yeah, it's Hera. Because she apparently bred the Neiman lion. So there you go. It's very interesting. Little gripe I had, I think, was like, why is Circe not on the front of the Circe Tarot? What's going on? Anyway, so yeah, that one's gonna stay. Another one of my faves, Surrealist Tarot. So good. And I really don't have much that I could like pair this up against as a comparison. Like, I have the Dali Tarot, but it's its own beast as well, and we'll talk about it later. But look at those backs. Another good back. Gorgeous. Stunning. Amazing. These ones are just so fun. This deck is a riot. This deck is an adventure. If you have any interest in surrealist art, there's so many references to so many amazing artists and figures, which are, and there's quotes in the, keep the little white book. There's quotes in it. I've colored all over it, but, and there's, tarot deck should have more eggs in it. I will stand by this. This hill I will die on. Tarot decks need more eggs in them. But it's fun. It's a treat and a joy for your imagination and your mind. The write-ups in the little white book are great. It's not one that I pull a mountain of cards with. I like, 2 or 3 out of this one is an adventure enough. So I really, really quite like it. It's a Luigi Di Giammarino deck. It's funny. This came out, 3 years ago? 2021. So 4 years ago, coming up on 5. If this had come out now, this would be the first, I would be like, this AI. I would. And this is just, maybe this is a sign that I need to check myself a little bit before I write off everything as AI. Because something like this you would think would be, but I'm pretty sure it's not. It's just really well done. However it was done, just because of the timing. But it's an interesting thought. But it's not. It's old enough to not be. So far as I know, I don't know, were they feeding us AI decks as early as 2021? No. Wasn't that good back then. Just got me all paranoid about it. But anyway, I love this one. She's gonna stay. And I edged it myself in this navy color. It's like a blue and black combo. But it's a really good one. Let's have a look at a couple of little spooky boys. We've got the Dark Angels Tarot and the Archeon Tarot. Both of these I will be keeping. Such a vibe. This one, it feels so good. This is like teenage me. This is her deck. And then this one is also so good. Also excellent backs. This one's a US Games. This one's a little Scarabeo. An old US Games, must say. When was that one published? Does it say on the box? 2005 was this one. And this one was printed in 2020, but I think it was definitely older than that. There's an older... Anyway, or maybe not. Who knows? Either way, these are fun. Kind of dark, kind of gothic. Has that, you'll see how these decks match really well with, the Witch's Wisdom, the Kitchen Witch, and the Gothica Oracle that I showed before, as well as the Dark Fairy Tale Tarot and Wisdom of the House of Night. All of these live in that same little moody, kind of computer-generated, dark and gothic deck family, and I like them for that. They're very easy to read as a tarot. They're just fun. They're of a time. Yeah. No, they're wonderful. I like them quite a bit. I don't have too much to say about them, really. Other than hey, this is a tarot. This one, it's called the Dark Angels Tarot. There's kind of a dark angelic / demonic presence within each of the cards that you can interpret as however you like. The guidebook's fun. The guidebook's pretty good on this one too, if I remember correctly. It's been a while since I've used it, but I do. This one has a more of an adventurous vibe about it. I don't know, but it's also sweet. This one's definitely sweeter. This one's definitely a little bit more... Spicy's not the right word. And cold isn't the right word either. Maybe contemptuous is a better word for this one. But I don't know. They're gorgeous. And I believe that is, if not a likeness of Robert Smith, which is funny. Some other faces, but oh, they're great. I like them. They stay. Gorgeous on card. Okay. Yep. Those are those. So that's the Archeon Tarot by Timothy Lance and the Dark Angels Tarot by Luca Russo. And they're both staying. Nicoletta Ciccoli Tarot. Another classic. We talked about her Oracle, her matching Oracle deck in the Dark Decks video. I decided to keep her separate for this one, but she's usually paired with that Oracle deck. The backs are sweet and lovely, and it's a little quiet and spooky girl, and I like her for the same reasons that I like the Oracle. It's really just an extension of the same energy. Yeah, no, they're wonderful. Her art translates to the tarot and Oracle so well. This is another kind of compilation art deck from the works of Nicoletta Ciccoli. Fit into the tarot structure, but it's lovely and it works. And, you know, this isn't one for everybody, but for those that it is for, they love it. Super useful. You can use it for inner child work. You can just use it as a regular tarot. You can do all sorts. You can kind of... It's a good one for experimenting with perspectives and thoughts and feelings and all that jazz. And it's definitely a sometimes deck. Like, if I were to use it right now where I'm not in a space where I need this kind of energy, it wouldn't hit the same. But when I am in a space where I'm feeling particularly, I don't know, vulnerable or isolated or at a loss, perhaps, this deck, when I'm in that kind of mood, it's what I need. It's like a hug then, but like if I'm not in that mood, it's not. So it's really... Some decks I can pick up whenever and use them. This is not one like that. This is one that requires me to be in a certain emotional space. But when I am there, it's great. So anyway, Nicoletta Ciccoli. We won't linger on her because everybody knows. Everybody knows. She stays. Ooh, let's look at the Bosch Tarot. Another art compilation Low Scarabeo Tarot deck. I love them so much. Ugh. My favorite. My favorite. Okay. Here's the backs. They're okay. They're not my favorite, which is interesting because you'd think they would be. The works of Hieronymus Bosch. This is my... It's just funny. We talked about the Bosch Tarot that Rockpool did with Travis McHenry and how it wasn't it for me. This one is. And the art's been tweaked a bit. Now, there's a couple of art compilation decks. This one, the Klimt Tarot and the Botticelli Tarot, which we will talk about next. They've taken... It's a rendition of the art, kind of expanded and embellished to fit a tarot structure a little bit. So there'll be elements that are reminiscent of his paintings and characters within his paintings, but they've been kind of tweaked a little bit to fit a little bit more into the tarot. Some more obvious than others, but like, that's a painting. It's part of the Garden of Earthly Delights, but it's just a small portion of it, but it's been repainted and changed and isolated in its own little scene to fit a tarot. But it still feels really true to the spirit of his art. And I like it. These are all of these ones that kind of take the art and change it a little bit to fit the tarot. They're all done by A. Atanisov. I think it's Alex. But yeah, so they're all by the same creator. Actually, let's save some time and we'll whip out the Klimt and the Botticelli. These ones are golden. I have a few of the golden ones. Let me just double check. Is this one as well by Mr. Atanisov? Yes, it is. Okay, he's got a bunch. Can't have too many decks all at once, but we'll just bang these all out together. So we've got Bosch. We've got the Golden Botticelli. Klimt Tarot. Golden Tarot Klimt. I love this one. Oh, it's always so beautiful and wonderful to use. These read just so well and easily for me too. I adore them. I should use these more. And this is the Golden Tarot of the Tsar, which is the most recent. And I have, look at that, I've etched it in red. This is a spicy fellow. So yeah, let us look in all of their shiny golden glory. These are beautiful tarot decks. Absolutely stunning. Let's maybe move that card so I don't get in too much trouble. Yeah, these are incredibly stunning and gorgeous decks. I wish you could see how shiny in real life they really are. they just, on candlelight, they're wonderful. So this one is kind of inspired by Botticelli's art. So we've got that soft, flowing, mythological, pastoral scene feel about it with like gilded to the hilt. Like all of these are just sparkling and shining. And then Gustav Klimt. And then this one, the Golden Tarot of the Tsar. It's all kind of Byzantine paintings depicting Christian myth. So we have those, and look at like these. That's covered. That is gold. Yeah, no, they're beautiful. This one's a little bit pippier, and we've got a little circle with the image going on in it that depicts various stories from Christian myth. We've got our little angels as well. So fun. And then, you know, Botticelli, occasionally a bit of their work does take on that just because of the time, right? If you were a painter, you painted for the church. That's what you did. Same with Bosch. Bosch has a very heavily Christian theme, but it also explores it from kind of a different perspective and a weird side, and kind of it's very fire and brimstone about it as well. Like it was meant as like a warning, whereas I think modern culture has really embraced his depictions of like hell and purgatory and that sort of thing. So anyway, it's just interesting and fun. But these are great and gorgeous and wonderful, and they drew tarot very well. And I like them. And they're all staying. And they feel great. Great little size. More, please. Yeah. Maybe we'll flip through a bunch more. Why not? I'm doing 4 at once. I've seen, let's see, in real life, probably a great deal of these in various museums. Byzantine art, there's always a section. Especially in the Museo del Prado, there's a great deal of Byzantine art in it. Because that was the place. I've seen a few Botticellis, Mars and Venus, and ooh, what other ones? I can't remember off the top of my head, but I've seen a good few of them. I think Minerva. Or Primavera, maybe? Maybe I've seen that one. Yeah, is that one in Spain? I think so. Have I seen any Klimts? Maybe 1 or 2, but I haven't seen the Kiss in real life, I don't think. And I've seen the Garden of Earthly Delights in real life, as well as a couple of his other triptychs and individual paintings. So I feel blessed to have kind of interacted with this art in its own, like in the real world as well, instead of just through tarot. But the fact that we can through tarot like this is wonderful as well. So, it's just so nice. Oh my gosh, there's so many naked people. Okay. Alright, that's enough of these. So yes, Bosch Tarot, Botticelli, Klimt, and the Golden Tarot of the Tsar are all going to stay. Okay, while we're kind of on the golden theme, I have a couple of other golden decks because Magpie. We've got Tarot Nefertari here. This is a weird one. This one's always like way more expensive than all of the other decks. Like where you look to buy it. I don't know why this one costs that much more. Maybe they've sorted it out. Maybe it was just a a demand thing. But this is kind of a Egyptian themed golden tarot deck with hieroglyphs. It's a little pippy. And it's useful and I like it. I was considering, now okay, remember when I was talking about the Isis deck and like the Oracle? This was way back in like the first video. And I decided to let her go because I don't necessarily work with the Egyptian pantheon specifically, or Isis, or, you know, that Oracle didn't necessarily speak to me. This I can use as a tarot, but I'm thinking like, do I need to keep it around? Just because A, it's golden and pretty and beautiful and was more expensive. So there's that part of my brain, which is like, no, you're keeping this. You paid how much for it? But at the same time, I really don't pick it up all that often. And I don't work with the Egyptian pantheon. But instead of using this as like a spiritual deck for me to connect with a certain pantheon or deity, I really just read it like a thematic tarot deck. Right? Like, this is an Egyptian theme, but I would just read it like I would any old tarot deck based, and then like pull from the imagery as needed. But I don't know if... I don't know. Oh gosh, it's so pretty. My gosh, no, it's gotta stay. I gotta try. Gotta try a little harder with it, I think. Upon reflection and experience, like with holding it in my hands right now, I don't think the theming would keep me away from picking it up. But yeah, I would, just to be clear, I'm not using this to channel any particular deity or, you know, work within a magical framework. I would just, other than tarot itself, you know, pip deck with Egyptians on it. And it's a great excuse to kind of hang out with the Northern African ancient culture. Clearly I've shuffled reversals into here. Strangely. It is pretty. And we all had an Egyptian phase when we were younger. It's been a while since I've been obsessed with ancient Egypt, but maybe it'll come back probably. Our learning comes and goes in phases, but the cat. Yeah, it's good. She'll stick around. Kind of in the same category as the other golden decks. I need to edge her in black badly though. Yeah, that's on the to-do list. E pronto. Alright, so I was a little concerned that I would be letting her go, but turns out, nope, she stays. And the last golden one I have is the Golden Art Nouveau Tarot, and she used to travel with me back and forth in my bag all the time, so the box is a little beaten up, but that's fine. Proof of use. My gosh, this is a pretty deck. Very Rider-Waite Smith in art style. Like, I really did consider putting this in the clone category, but I gotta draw the line somewhere. But golden, shiny, wonderful, lovely reader. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. I like it. It's relatively iconic at this point as well, so I don't have too much to say about it really, other than that I like it and it's gonna stay. I love the detail in the faces, like how, like, there's a lot of emotion and expression in the artwork on these cards. There is also the Art Nouveau Tarot, which we will talk about next, but it's not the same art that's been goldenified, whereas we've got the Golden Universal, which we will talk about at a different day, that is the same as the Universal Tarot, but has just been embellished with gold. Very confusing. And really that's information that only crazy tarot obsessed people like myself need to know. So we're not going to worry about it too much, but Golden Art Nouveau Tarot, it's a classic and it's gorgeous, and yeah, a wonderful clone to have around. And then the regular tarot, Art Nouveau. Boop, 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 boop. Antonella Castelli. Oh, I have a little, we use specific purpose. Yeah, she's beautiful. This would match, there's an Oracle deck, Oracle of the Flowers, which is kind of like a Bach Flower Essences deck in an Art Nouveau style, which is crazy. There's also a Zodiac Oracle that's very much in the same style. Like, this has a lot of potential Oracle pairings to go with it. But it's just, you know, pretty people tarot deck. There's some nods to like classic art and statues that have been rendered in this art style. So a lot of the forms are familiar. But it's good. It's gorgeous. This feels very, even though it's not specifically, maybe just because it's a lot of the forms are based on statues. It feels like deity a little bit. You know? This is like, it's a nondescript deity deck, goddess deck, divine deck. Oh, you see? It's kind of like a Greek mythology deck without being a Greek mythology deck. Kind of a neoclassical, like that's Apollo. You know? Should be Hermes, but I'm pretty sure that's the Apollo statue. But anyway, it is what it is. Yeah, and that's based off of a painting that I recognize. So it has those layers to it, but then it's like been thrown through an Art Nouveau lens in the art style. I don't know, it's pretty. I like it. I really should get those oracles that go with it, because I think that would be fun to use together sometime. But anyway, as you can see, I have made a point to make it one that is special. So that will stay in with it. And I will use, whoops, accordingly. You gotta watch. Sometimes you end up leaving the moon in the box. But a hazard. Love tuck boxes, but I do love. So yeah, Art Nouveau Tarot. Love it. Okay, a couple more art compilation decks. And then, actually, yeah, we'll do Gustave Doré. His work is iconic as well. The Divine Comedy. Christian myth. There's an intensity of emotion. The human experience contained within his art. Our little struggle for meaning here on this material plane, as well as some other kooky things. It's just a good one. I do like it a lot. This one, it's very intense. It gives it's quizzical readings, I think. The readings from this tend to be, they're a bit grand. They make you feel small though as well, I think. It kind of puts your life into context. It surrounds you with the wonder of everything that's been, as well as reminding you that what you're thinking and feeling are the same things that humans have been thinking and feeling for however long we've been thinking and feeling. Nothing changes. It stays the same. I don't know. Those are the kind of thoughts and feelings that it gives me when I use it, but that's just probably my reaction to the art of Gustave Doré as well. And we do love being moved by art, don't we? It's one of humans' favorite pastimes. That's what it's for. And then when it's mixed with tarot, it's even better. So gorgeous. Anyway, this one's wonderful. And it's a black and white deck / grayscale deck. And I really enjoy. And it will be staying. Yes, yes, yes. Absolutely. Let's do the little weird guy. This is the last Fournier deck I have to talk about. We talked about the Anne Stokes Gothic deck, and then I've had a couple of others in the past by Fournier, a Spanish publisher, and I've gotten rid of them. They're good, but they weren't, I wasn't reaching for them. Look at how gorgeous though. Oh my goodness. Adorable. This is the Tarot de Carletides, and it's a weird little guy. This is a wildly different art style than pretty much anything we've looked at today. More modern. It's a very anachronistic deck. It's got modern aspects of it. It's got historical aspects of it. There's nods to various art styles of the past used as artistic elements, but it's beautiful and it's fun. And this is one deck I don't ask a lot of. I love that card. Such a good 10 of Swords. It's, yeah, it's one that I don't ask a lot of. It doesn't ask a lot of me. It's a nice and fun one. My sister particularly loves this deck also. But yeah, it's a delight. Oh, there's some cards in this that I really love. It's unique, it's quirky. Like, that's obviously Klimt's Kiss. That's a nod to a John Bauer painting. There's like little bits. Like, we got an Ouroboros with an eye. It's just such a fun and unique collection of like art styles and references, and it's a tea party with a pope and a rabbit. What's happening? I don't know. I like it. It's fun. It reads well. So she's gonna stay. Also, 3 of Swords. Love me a Sacred Heart. You know this. Okay. So, Tarot de Carlotides. This will be the lone surviving. Oh, look at that. There's a little eye. Fournier deck that just does a trick. This is the one for me. She stays. We talked about the Edmund Duloc Tarot already in the first video because it's one of my favorites ever. This is not the Edmund Duloc Tarot. This is the Pre-Raphaelite Tarot. It's just in the Edmund Duloc box because I cannot find the Pre-Raphaelite Tarot box to save my life. I don't know where it went. I usually don't get rid of them. I usually keep them in, like, I've got the big Marielle box. I keep all the broken down other ones in it, but nope. I have no idea where it is, so it just lives here for now, but this is another one that I'm going to be keeping. Another one that's kind of that is a Pre-Raphaelite art style. Familiar paintings. Lady of the Lake by a Waterhouse, I think, but they've just been wedged into our lovely tarot system, and it makes a wonderful tarot adjacent, potentially clone. It's not like a line drawing copy clone, but it's like a posture and setting kind of clone, if that makes any sense. There's a few tarot by this artist, the Pre-Raphaelite Tarot, the Mystical Tarot, and the New Tarot Traditions is also by them. Is there another one too? Oh, and the Jack-o'-lantern Tarot. They're all by the same artist, Pietro Eligo. Yes. And I love it. It's beautiful. References to some of my favorite paintings. And it reads well as a tarot. With aspects that I love, and it's just nice. It's a no-brainer for me. Oops. How many times do you accidentally try and flip the hangman over thinking he's upside down? Oh, it's an easy, as I said, easy reader. Is a clone. Beautiful art style. Resonates with me. Does the trick. It's nothing crazy. It's nothing deep. Like any more than a regular tarot would be, but I like it. Oh, look, Ophelia. Anyway, I adore it. So that's going to stay. And for now, it's going to stay in this little Edmund Duloc box until I can figure out where I hid it on me. I have no idea. It's hidden in a drawer somewhere. I'm sure of it. Second to last, we have the Universal Fantasy Tarot. This one is so good. I feel like I need to see this around more. It's gorgeous. This is by Paolo Martinello. I'm so bad at pronouncing Italian names. I need to get better at it because I love Lo Scarabeo decks. Lo Scarabeo is out of Italy as well. If you did not know. These are the backs. These are the fronts. And yeah, just it's kind of got a futuristic, adventurous feel about it. It's this whole unique little world. This one doesn't necessarily reference anything specific. It's just fun. It's so good. And it's because it's its own unique thing. It's really easy to like put yourself into this world. Project yourself into what's going on in these images. Because they're like, it's familiar, but it's not at the same time. It's whimsical, it's magical, it's adventurous, it's futuristic, it's sci-fi, it's fantasy, it's everything. And it's tarot. And that's what makes it fantastic. Oh, such a weird little guy. Anyway, I like it quite a bit. This one's a really good one for pulling for readings for other people. Little white book meetings, just add a little bit extra. Anyway, I need to see this one around more. I do. Yeah, look at that magician. So fun. Yeah, this just kind of encompasses everything I love about these type of decks. It's just, they're so all-purpose. They don't ask for you to have to learn a lot to use them. You just need your basic understanding of the 78 cards of tarot, and away you go. And you're laughing. Yeah, no, this is lovely. I love this one. I think I got this in the interview spread too. It's crazy how, like, after all these years, I can still remember what cards came out during the interview spread. It's one of my unique superpowers, I guess. Superhuman memory. So yeah, Universal Fantasy Tarot, Paolo Martinello. So good. Okay. And the last one for today's video is this one. And it is a tuck box deck. It just has to live in this bag because I butchered it. This is the Tarot of 1001 Nights. It's another low Scarabeo deck. I've trimmed the borders off of it though. This is one of the older ones that had a big white border with the different languages around it. And you'll notice most of the ones I have don't have the languages around them. They're in that era that were made where they didn't do that. Because I don't love that. Like, I'll put up with it. But I like the ones that just have, because the problem is Low Scarabeo publishes for audience of varying languages, right? So having, you know, German, Italian, English, and French on, are those the 4 languages? Yes, I think so. On each of the cards. No, Spanish. German, Italian, Spanish, and English, I think, were the 4 languages on each of the cards. It made it more accessible for their audience, which makes sense. But also, symbols. Symbols don't need languages, and I think they graduated to that, so they'll put a symbol at the top for the, either the number or the court, like knights, queens, page, king, right? And then the number. And you don't necessarily need to put the words. So I think they transitioned to that system, but before that they were putting the title in 4 languages on it. So I like that they've switched to that. But I chopped those borders off, and it had this secondary border around the actual image. These are the backs, which is also one of the cards, but I'll get over it. Anyway, this lovely little guy is it's the Tarot of 1001 Nights. It is the stories of Scheherazade illustrated. So think Arabian Nights, the mythical stories of older Middle Eastern time period of basically their tales and legends and heroic stories and that sort of thing. I'm familiar with some of them. I'm not familiar with all of them. But it is in that kind of, it takes place within areas of the Mediterranean as well, which is another lovely little draw I have to them. I don't know, it sparks something in me. This is beautiful. I love it. And also, I think, let's see if I can find it. The sun card in this is one of my favorite of all time. That's gorgeous. Look at that. 2 of Wands. Absolutely. Tower. Anyway, I've written so after I trimmed, I put the number on it, and then you can kind of tell based on the border what suit it is. So yeah, wands, swords, wands, cups, etc., etc. And then the court cards, I believe, majors I wrote the number on. Can I have a court card, please? How did I do that? Oh, I wrote the elements. Right, so water and a water, so that's a Queen of Cups. Yes, that's how I did it. Like, how did I fix this for myself? Just so I could know which it is. Where's my card? Oh, that's so beautiful. Look at the cypress trees. Absolutely gorgeous. I love it. It sings to me. And I have a matching perfume that goes with this really, really well. Is it? Where is it? It's a major. It should be this color. Did we pass it already? No, there it is. It's like right at the back. There's my sun card. Oh, it's just so beautiful with it coming up over the water and the rocks, and then we have the little town in the harbor, the like gardens on the ceilings or the rooftops of the buildings. We've got date palms and cypress trees and everything's in bloom. It's just such a gorgeous card. It just fills my heart with happiness. So anyway, I like this little guy and I need to use it more. I don't think it likes its bag. I think I need to make it a new bag with some more zazzy fabric on it, I think. You know what? This needs a Johnnicky bag. That's what this needs. I need to check out Johnnicky's Etsy shop pronto, because that little guy needs to live in a very tiny Johnnicky bag. She makes such lovely bags. Anyway, there we go. Okay, that's them. Those are all mostly the Los Scarabeo, Tuck Box, and US Games decks. The ones that aren't going to be in the official Cologne Marseille category, or the ones that showed up in the other videos. Yeah. Okay, that was an adventure. I need to do some counting, and I will grab everything and we will show you what we're getting rid of today. Alrighty, I have done the tabulations. So today we went through 34 decks today. Good job, everybody. Knocking out some numbers. Getting that up. So yeah, 34 decks today. Of the 34 decks, I'm keeping 26 of them. And we're decluttering 8. So the 8 that are getting decluttered are Tarotpocalypsis, just the deck, not the book, which is weird, but it's my party. I'll do weird things if I want to. The Monera Tarot, Spiral Tarot, Fantastical Creatures Tarot, Triumphi della Luna Paradoxical. Just gonna go. Cosmic Tarot. It's also going to hang out in limbo for a little while. So that's 6. Tarot of the Cat People. I'm mixed feelings, but we'll see. I think it's also going to go. Pretty sure. And the big 8 coins Tattoo Tarot is going to go. And I'm going to keep the little one. So those are my 8 that are going to go. Everything else is going to stay, unless I think I've hidden somewhere. I feel like I got rid of more. I feel like this was more difficult than this, but anyway, that's what we've done. So those are the 8 that are going to go. All of the other guys are going to stay. So that brings our total decluttering, these 8 plus the last 45, up to 53. So 53 decks that we have decluttered thus far, or have entered purgatory for now. Most of them have been declutterings. And that's pretty crazy. That's pretty good for 5 videos so far. Doing great, motoring right along. I'll put up the other numbers on the screen of how many we've judged so far, like how many have been through my hands. Numbers getting up there at this point, but I'm feeling good. It's going well. The pace is going great, and I'm excited to make more space for the ones that I do use. Definitely, as we said in the past, I'm definitely slowing down my ravenous exploration of older tarot decks, which is really what it is. I had a deep need to get to know all of the tarot decks that hath come before my time, and I think I'm in a place where I've kind of explored that to the limit that I'm comfortable with. And if I stumble on one in the future, sure, maybe, but I'm in less of a seeking space, I guess we should say. I found the decks that I like. I found, the tarot that were created and were just waiting for me to find them my whole life in the past, and we'll slow down as the future rolls forward, because it's funny. This is an interesting thought. When you kind of start into a hobby or a rabbit hole such as tarot, like we found, you kind of have the history of everything that's come before you kind of unfolding, ready and waiting for you to discover it, right? But then when you've been in it for a while, as new things come, like those things that you initially experienced were like the best of the best. Like of all of the years past, you kind of got that condensed version of all of the greatness together at once, and it was intense and amazing and a really, really dynamic experience. But then as you experience time more linearly, instead of like the backlog of everything before you hitting you all at once, now we're in a place of the present where slowly the future is unfolding before us at a slower pace than all of the past crumped up together in one moment. So the fervor with which I enthusiastically looked into tarot decks of the past, it kind of drops off because we cannot take that excitement with us forward, because then there's just less. I find of the tarot decks that I've gotten rid of are the ones I've decluttered more new decks than I have old ones, just because I would enthusiastically want to try something that's new, and it wasn't given the test of time first, I guess, is maybe some way to say it. I'm more likely to dislike a new deck than an old deck I found. I think, and that's just a lesson that I need to learn for myself. You may be different. That's entirely possible. But like for me, finding all of these decks that were published, within the last 10, 20 years, and the older ones even, which we will talk about later when we get into the other clones, which tend to be closer to the Rider-Waite-Smith. Those ones, when I found them, it was great and it was epic, and like those decks stood the test of time, whereas the new ones hadn't yet, and it's more risky trying new ones, I guess, to see what you like. And that might just be a me thing. I don't know. Let me know if you've thought about this perspective before. It's just very interesting to think about when it comes to like when you show up into the world of tarot and how you interact with everything that's ever been made, every perspective that's ever been expressed through the 78 cards of the tarot that give a map of human existence and living in life, and all of the wonderful, joyous bits about this practice, hobby, however we engage with tarot, however we do. There's so many different ways to engage with tarot, but like whichever way it is, it's just interesting to see it from that side. But anyway, yes, we have decluttered 53 so far, and that's wicked. So thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Next video, hopefully it's going to get up later this week. We're going to do my Fae decks. So there's some fairy decks that weren't included in that are tuck box decks that you may know that I have and love that you did not see today. They're going to be next week. We're going to do Fae decks, and then I think there's not enough to like flesh out like a full video. So I'm going to throw the JBG decks in with that. So our Jasmine Beckett Griffith collection, which there is a couple of. We're going to do all those together next week. So stay tuned for that. Otherwise, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And I will see all of you fine people in the next one. Bye!